They kicked me out of the race. Pretty pissed off today, guys, making this video. I have been campaigning now for, this is the 6th month. I've been campaigning in the middle of a campaign. As most of you know, I am currently in a legislative campaign for District 1 up here in northern Idaho. And I was just told last night by the Secretary of State's office that I can no longer run, that I am ineligible to be in this race. Here's what happened. Here's the panhandle of Idaho. This is northern Idaho. District 1 had a map, something like that. You got Boundary County, Bonner County. Just over a year ago, we moved north. From here somewhere further north. So we have been on this property that we are on now for over a year. I have lived in District 1 for 8 years now. This year they redistricted. And they brought the district line up and around my old property. So my old property is now currently in District 2. I sent all of my paperwork in, overnighted it, it got to the SOS. On Friday, the SOS called me, the Secretary of State, and it's the people, not the elected official, the Secretary of State. The office calls me and told me that I need to update my voter registration card because it is a different address than what I have filed for in my candidacy. So she emailed me the card to be able to update it and then email it to our local election office. As I was filling it out, she called me back and said, hey, you might want to just go up there and fill it out in person, make sure that it gets done, gets registered today, and then call me when it's done. So I said, okay, it's going to take me about an hour and 15 minutes to get up there. I will get up there and do it and then call you as soon as I am done. So I drove up to the Sandpoint office yesterday. I filled out my card. I showed everything I needed to have for a valid registration card. I turned it in. I called the SOS. The SOS put everything into the system and told me I'm good to go. All your information is up to date. Fast forward to later that night, 6:30 my time, 7:30 p.m. Boise time. I get another phone call from the SOS stating that I am ineligible to run because I have not lived in District 1 long enough. District 1, this whole thing. What they're trying to say is that because they redistricted this up over my last property, when I updated my card, that meant that I just moved into District 1. So he's claiming, Roger from the SOS, who's Roger, is claiming that I just moved to District 1 and that I am ineligible to be able to run. Okay, keep in mind, guys, I moved here last December. They just did this redistricting this February. So according to them, this redistricting line in February restarted my clock of how long I have lived in District 1. So I asked them, what code am I in violation of? What are you claiming that I am doing wrong lawfully, that I am not a legal candidate to be able to run? (34)614 Section 2. That states that a candidate has to live in that district for a year leading up to the general election. I am not in violation of that code. I have lived in District 1 for over 8 years. I have never moved out of it. I've been here consistently for the entire 8 years. I just moved further north, further into District 1. So as of 15 plus days ago, when they rerouted this line and said that this was the final map, the final ruling, somehow that says I have not been in District 1 for a year now. So here's the kicker, and I asked them, guys, so our former representative, our current representative in 1 now, who now has to move to District 2, lived right there. So she fell into the redistricting as well. Now, she's only been a resident of District 2 for 15 plus days. Yet there must be some sort of an exemption that allows her to run into 2. So the code that I am breaking, she's exempt from being able to do. They said that that's acceptable, I guess. I was provided no code that said that that's acceptable, but somehow there's an exemption there. However, moving this line around my old residence does not create an exemption that allows me to run, even though I stayed in the district. Now, this code states you have to live in the district for 1 year. It does not state that your voter registration card has to be up to date for the year prior. For us to be able to file as candidates, we had to update our candidacy card, our voter registration card. It has to be updated information from the time that you submit it. That's what we were doing Friday. That's what we were told to do by the SOS on Friday, is get it up to date, then submit it, and then you're good to go. So I'll tell you what, guys, I have been on the campaign trail now for 6 months. I've spent thousands of dollars on a campaign. I've put almost 10,000 miles on my truck, driving all over the panhandle, meeting with people, speaking to people, doing all the things that I needed to do to get elected to represent District 1. So according to their administrative process, I am ineligible to run as a candidate. But according to this code, I didn't break it. I never left District 1. I've always been a resident of District 1. I moved over a year prior to them moving that line. And I can verify it. I can provide factual proof that I owned this land, lived here, have been living here, and sold that property right there over a year ago. So I've got no answers, guys. I'm pretty pissed off about this. I've put in a ton of effort to get elected. I've done all the work I was supposed to do to make this happen. District 1 was looking like catering country. We'd been running a pretty successful campaign, meeting lots of people and gaining a lot of momentum. And now it's just gone. I've got no answers. I have nothing but questions. And here's the kicker. When I asked Roger at the SOS who he was, I asked him his title. He told me it doesn't matter what my title is. All it matters is I'm letting you know you're ineligible. Who's Roger? Why would you not identify yourself if you're a state employee? I find it very odd. So nothing but questions, guys. Like I said, I was given one answer by the SOS, and now I'm given a second answer by the SOS, and I'm given a code that I did not break. So I don't believe that I should legally be kicked out of this race, but I don't know what to do. Today is Saturday. I got this information Friday night. So I have all weekend to just sit and think about it. And until Monday, I do not get any answers whatsoever until I call the Secretary of State. But as of right now, to all of you guys in North Idaho, to all of you who were planning on voting for me, I am currently out of the race unless I can get this fixed. If you guys have any suggestions, if this sounds familiar to you, let me know. I could absolutely use the guidance. I do not know where to go from here. Hit subscribe. Who's Roger?